Good morning, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about runes and rune synergies and all that. I'm not feeling too good, so yeah, you'll hear that in my voice. Anyways, I don't want to get too much into these red runes because the only way you can get them is through buying them. So I do not even currently own any of these red ones, but I will talk about the ones that you can't get. That are only through the red. The upper hand rune is probably one of the best runes in the game. And it basically just starts you off with energy, which is crazy good. Stacks up to 250 at level 16. I will say the only thing bad about these red runes is that they're really hard to upgrade. I mean, even legendary runes are hard to upgrade, but these things are ridiculously hard to upgrade. They take a lot of resources to level up. And then to try to unlock the levels, you need more red ones. And just to get red ones in general is like, you need to be like a super uber whale to just do this. So it's not really feasible unless you're spending a ton of money. And that's just not for me. But I will say that upper rune is really good. The protecting rune is really good. You could only get this in red also, and when you die, it gives a shield to your teammates for 8 seconds. So you just put this on your tank. He'll die eventually, and then your whole team gets a shield. The other one you could only get on red is this Eternity Rune. This one's it's not bad. You get HP when you block, and it scales up. Again, these red runes are very hard to get. Another one you could only get in a red rune is the Raid Rune. Has a chance of 20% to deal additional 10% of attack damage. That scales up to 18%, and then there's a 30%. This one's decent. It's still good, but I think the other ones are better. And I think that's it for Curse Rune. This is the last one that you could only get in red. This one I like. I don't really like the death ones and the normal ones, but the red ones, it's really good. Just reduces the energy when, say, you put it on your tank or someone, or maybe your assassin goes in the back line and you put it in your like healer, like Morg, because she's kind of tanky. And once she dies, it just reduces everyone's energy so they can't like combo you or something, and you can use your spells before they do, and it can win you a game. So now that I'm done talking about the red runes, this is more realistic right here. So I'm surprised they don't have the... Okay, they do. Let's start off with the basics and then work our way up. Okay, these blue basics are probably the best runes that are accessible to everyone in the game. Like, these things are amazing. Like, I use so many of these things. Like, let me show you right here. Look at how many of my heroes have the energy rune. And then this rune's amazing too, the Enchantment Room. It lowers your defense by 5, but it increases your skill damage by 20% once you have it leveled to 4 at least, which is really easy to do. And let's go back to this. So yeah, if you have like a hero that does a lot of skill damage, so like you can use this on Renee, you can use this on pretty much anyone. Like, everybody's ult does pretty good damage. This one's amazing because it raises the attack each time you cast an energy skill. So like in Abyss, this rune's amazing because you're gonna cast a whole bunch of energy skills. A lot of times you don't get to that second stack because you're already dead. But even the 15% in itself is a good buff. And then if you manage to get your second stack, that's 30. But then if you level it up to 20 to 4, it's 22 attack, and then it stacks again, so it'd be 44 attack, which is really freaking good. And then you got the armor pierce rune. I use that on some of my heroes. Just gives you armor pierce. It stacks 3 times. It'll go to 15% once you got it to level 4, and then it stacks 3 times, so it'll be 45% armor pierce. It's really good. Not as good as the other two that I just named, but it has its uses, like when you're trying to get through a tank or something like that. Next up, we got the Wisdom Rune. These are for mages. Every class has their own kind of rune. You got the Ranger Rune. You've got the Assassin Rune. You've got the, where is it? Tank Rune. And yeah, some of them are good, some of them not so good. Like this Wisdom Rune is for mages, and basically it just gives them attack. Kind of just like the Assassin Rune and the Ranger Rune. The problem with this is not that many people use multiple mages, and mages. Like I haven't seen anybody run mages. I want to try an alt account and just make a mage team, see how good it is. Just because I haven't seen anyone try it, but it basically the purple one stacks to 5 at level 8. It's relatively easy to level up. You can get multiple copies and get the skill up. Again, I don't see. I don't use these in any of my mages because I'm never gonna have more than one mage on a team because I don't even have that many mages built up, so it doesn't benefit me. Like for example, the Ranger Rune, which all my rangers pretty much have. It's the same thing. It stacks up to, or it goes to 5 when you level up to A, and then it stacks 3 times. So that'll be 15 extra ranger. I love these runes because you get the attack as soon as you start the game. As soon as the fight starts, you automatically got this attack. So you're attacking them with this attack. And when you use your first energy skill, you automatically have it. Like there's rune, for instance, let me talk about this Dementing Rune. The Dementing Rune is pretty much the same thing, except it doesn't start at the beginning of the fight. It starts once you kill a target. So you don't get this attack damage until one target at least has been killed. And then every time someone dies, that means you get a stack. So you get 4 stacks. So you get a lot more attack damage, which it goes to 9, and then it'll scale up. So once you kill someone, you get 9, and then you kill someone else, and you get 18, and then so on. But the problem is, once you've killed someone, you pretty much won the fight in this game. So the problem becomes killing someone, because it's pretty much whoever starts killing off the other person's unit wins. So if you don't get your attack damage until you've killed someone, then most likely you're gonna lose because they're gonna kill you first. So that's why I like these runes. because if you're using more than one ranger, because this stacks off of kills. This stacks off of how many rangers you got in your team, as well as this how many mages you got in your team, and this is how many tanks you got in your team. So I'm always running 3 rangers, so that's 3 stacks. This is max 3 stacks. So I have 3 rangers, and in the in the purple one, it's 5, so it'll be stacked by 3. So automatically at the start, you get 15%, because I'm always running 3 rangers. Like right here, I'll show you. Like the gold ones is higher, but I'll get to that one in a bit. But I'll show you my team real quick. Where am I going? Arena. Right here, look. 3 rangers. 1, 2, 3. So I'm getting the bonus. I'm getting the 15 right there. And I'm getting more on those units, actually, because I have the gold ones on them. So maybe you're not using rangers. Maybe you have 3 assassins. Maybe you have more assassins, and you got your Terrence. You got that new unit. I don't know what it's called, but she's pretty OP. That castle one, Legion. So maybe you're running 3 assassins. This is a good rune if you're running 3 assassins. Let me go back to right here. It's very easy rune to get. And again, you get right off the bat, you get this attack. So if you're running 3 assassins, 2 assassins, this is a great rune. This Asylum Rune, I think is top tier for tanks. What do you want your tanks to stay alive in the beginning of the fight, and that's exactly what this helps you do. The beginning of the fight, it gives you shields for 10 seconds. That shields goes up to 16% of your max HP, and then you can try rolling for some buffs right here. I have these in pretty much all my tanks. Yeah, this is amazing rune. Use it. This is another good rune for tanks. I don't like this one as much as the other 2, because it does raise your defense, but only for 3 seconds, and only when you're being controlled. So what if the team doesn't even try to control you? What if they don't have any units with CC? This is not even going to go off. And even if it does go off, it's only 3 seconds. I do use this rune on some units, but it's not my favorite rune. But it has its uses. And once it's triggered, the defense goes up by 35, which is a lot, but it's not my favorite. But everybody uses this one. But I'd rather use the Asylum and the Tank Rune, because those are guaranteed. So the Courage Rune is another one that I use rather than the Defending Rune. But again, I do use a Defending Rune also. But I tend to lean more towards the Courage Rune than the Defending Rune, only because a lot of the tanks have a lot of moves that scale with max HP, and this is a rune that gives you max HP. It gives you 9% max HP, and then every other tank you got on there. Sometimes you're running more than one tank. Sometimes you need a tank in the back, so your assassins, so the other enemy's team assassin attacks your other tank, so you could live longer and take him out. So in that case, you double that 9 to 18% max HP. And then if for some weird reason, sometimes I have actually used 3 tanks, and then that would give you 27% max HP for this purple one. But the legendary one's even better. But like this rune is really good for like units like Eric. Eric scales off of HP. Like you got two of his moves that scale off of HP, and like his shield that he gives to everyone and his ult. The more HP he has, the more shield he gives to all his teammates, and then this is gonna increase that even further. Along with Cardinal. Cardinal has a shield that he gives to himself and his teammates, and it scales off his max HP also. This is going to give him more HP. There's some tanks that don't utilize the max HP effect, and then you can use the defending rune on them if you like. But this is always good, and also the more HP you have, the harder it is that the tank is going to go down. So this is always a good option, even if you're not using 3 tanks or 2 tanks. Even if you're using 1 tank, especially like if you're using Eric, I would say the Courage rune is better for units like that. The Ember rune. Ember rune, unless you're using a lot of units that have a poison, bleeding, or burning effect. Let's say you're using, I'll give you some examples. Let's say you're using, I don't know why you would be using this unit, but Basil Bob, he has a burn. Right here. He has lots of burns, I think, actually. Is he using Basil Bob? And then you're using who else? You're using like Live. She petrifies. There's not that many people with, but basically if you're using like a full team of people that have burn, oh man, I'm not feeling good. That have burn, bleeding, or poison, which not that many units right now do have that. There's very few that have poison. I can't even think of any on top of my head. And then bleeding. I think I know some units that have some bleeding. But if you have like a full team, this wouldn't be a bad rune. But you have to like synergize your team with the rune if you're gonna use this. If you have nobody, if you have like one person doing burn damage or bleeding, I don't think it's worth it. Unless you pair this rune with where's it at? Did I pass it? Right here. The Element Rune. And what the Element Rune does, I actually have this rune in some of my units. It has a 20% chance to curse the target, and that chance increases to 30% once you level it up. When you deal crit damage, and it attaches a debuff, which is poison, bleeding, and burning, to enemies for 6 seconds. When the enemy's doing crit damage, and it stacks 10 times. So this thing stacks 10 times. It's not bad. So when you pair this Element Rune, which gives you the poison, bleeding, and burning, and then you have this Ember Rune that scales to 20%, and then it goes up if you have it in legendary, then you'll be doing a lot more damage off of this rune and this rune as a combination. So I'll give you an example of a unit that I use that has it. So I've got my my Bella, and she has this rune, and when it's legendary, it's the same exact rune as the purple one. It stacks 10 times, but it's just the percentage is higher, so eventually it go up to 40%. And then that Ember Rune I don't have in gold, but yeah, those are two combos right there, the Ember Rune and the Element Rune. And I would put that rune, yeah, sorry, I heard some people talking outside, on people that don't really do too much damage, like Bella, and it'll make it to where they do some damage. And like how she like hops to the other side and she's relatively safe, so she just gets to stack her while she's CC, and she gets to stack that burn and the damage. Next, Blessing Rune. Blessing Rune is I don't like it too much, but it has its uses. If you're getting CC'd, or if too many people are getting CC'd, you just put it on like somebody that you know is gonna die, and then it dispels one debuff on the ally and their max HP. It restores your unit's max HP by 5%, and then scales to 7%. Sorry, there's some people talking outside. It was kind of throwing me off. Expansion Rune, Expulsion Rune. This one's a really good rune. I have it on units that are kind of like supporty, and there's a 20% chance for every basic attack to dispel one buff on the enemy, which is good on supports, and that scales to 28% on the purple. And on the legendary, it scales to 40%, which is good. So every time they auto, they have a 40% chance to dispel one buff. So like I have that on this guy, because I mainly just use him for his shield, and yeah, he does that. I have it on her because she's a real support unit, and she's also like a mage, like damage, but she has a lot of debuffs and buffs. And then same thing. So you have Inspiring Rune. Increases all allies' attack by 4% for 10 seconds upon death. I don't like this rune. It's not the worst rune, but I don't like a rune just like this one. Was it this one? Yeah, just like these two. Like, once your teammates die, once your tank dies, or once you start dying, your whole team's pretty much gonna die. So the fact that it doesn't trigger until they die, I just don't like it. But again, I could see its uses. Maybe there's like a unit, once they die, there's some units that like blow up. Like for instance, if you put that rune on this guy, and when he dies, he deals damage equal to 40% of his max HP to the enemy with the highest attack. And then and he reduces the healing effect of the enemy with the highest attack by 20%. And then it increases by 100%, 150% of his max HP. But anyways, let's say you have this guy, which this guy's hard to get in general, but I'm just giving you an example. Let's say you have somewhere where he's gonna die first, but he's gonna live long enough to use his ult. So he's gonna use this, and he's gonna hit everyone with a lot of damage and reduce their attack speed. And then shortly after, he's gonna die, right? And then he's gonna do another AoE damage. Well, he's gonna blow up, right? And then he's pretty much gonna kill the person with the highest HP, because he already damaged them with his ult. Because this is like an AoE vortex to everyone. And then, so you just killed the other team's strongest person because he died, and you just hurt everyone on the other team. So then you got the rune that makes it to where your teammates get more attack. So then your teammates should be able to finish off the enemy, because they just got their attack speed lowered, so they're attacking slower. They're all low. And yeah, and they get a damage buff. So I could see like combos like that working out with this rune. But besides that, I don't think it's a good rune. Unless you're doing some cheeky stuff that I just said, you know. Next, derivation rune, whatever. Restores own HP by 50% of attack after casting energy skills. This is a good rune. You could put this on like some assassins. Like maybe you need a little bit of survivability, like on Sota or Terrans, or that new unit, whatever the name of it is. This is good on assassins, I think, or even like some tanks. But since it scales off of attack, I don't think the tanks will get too much health. But this is a good rune for like if you want to make your character survive a little bit more. Maybe even in Abyss, like you don't have a good healer yet, and you can put this in it, and it should keep your unit alive. It's not too bad. Humane Rune is another one of those runes where you need 3 units to make it max out, because it stacks by 3. Every priest you have on the floor, it stacks. The problem with this is I don't ever see a need of 3 priests on the floor, because priests don't really do damage unless you have like the light and dark ones. Well, the dark priest does damage, but and Flora does some damage, and so does what's her name, Lucia. Lucia does damage, but I don't see this rune. There's so many other runes you could put on your priest, but this one, again, it's not bad, because a lot of priests stack off of health. Like they do max health healing to your whole team, or max health shielding, max health, you know. So this is not a bad rune to put on them, even though you're not going to get the full stack. I mean, you're going to get this because it's leveled up, but you're not going to get 18 or 27% of it. But it's still a good rune if you need more heals, or more a little bit tankier, you know. I don't use this on anyone at the moment, but I am saving them, so I'm planning to try them out. I usually use this rune on my healers because it makes it's good rune to put on your healers. I use the gold one, but it increases your healing by 20% when an ally is below 30%, and that goes up to 30%. So this is a not bad rune, and then it has HP and attack. Harvest rune. This rune is not good in my opinion. I did use this early on. This was one of the runes I was using early on because I got a lot of them. But I don't like this rune because, again, you have to kill the enemy to get your energy. And once you kill the enemy, you pretty much won. So it doesn't help you when you start off. This rune doesn't ever activate in Abyss, so you can't even use it in Abyss. Again, the same with this. It's never going to activate in Abyss, so you can't use this rune in Abyss. That's another reason I don't like it. And it's not a good rune. There's better runes. I'll show you a better rune, a better version of this rune, but it's not on purples, it's on gold. So then you have, I already talked about the element rune. Let's go up to this. So everyone will eventually get these legendary runes. These are accessible to everyone. And I'm not going to really talk about the runes that I just talked about right here, because it's basically the same thing as this, just a better version of it. So like for instance, we can go with like the Dementing Rune right here. It's the same exact rune as the Dementing Rune on the purple, except it has more percentage. So it'll start off with more attack, and then it's gonna scale off with more. So see, it was 13% on the other one. This one's 9%. So it's just more of what it is. But there's runes in the legendaries that are not in the purple. So let me talk about that. The better version of the Harvest Rune, and honestly, this Harvest Rune, no one should really be using this one, is Descent Rune. This one is really good because this one you can use in Abyss or anywhere. And basically, instead of having to kill a target to get your energy, all you have to do is use your energy skills. So every time you use the energy skills, you get extra energy. So you'll get your ult off again sooner. And then you use your energy, you use your ult again, and then you'll get more energy. You just keep getting more energy. This is a good rune. And it has attack and HP. Everybody uses attack and HP. So yeah, this is a really good rune for healers. It's a good rune for attackers. It's a good rune for you could basically put this rune on anybody. Right now I'm working on I'm working on this one. When I get it higher, I'm gonna put it on my seller so she can use her moves more often, because her ult's pretty cracked. And then I have one on my healer, my Morgue, so she can heal sooner after she heals. You know, keep my people alive. And then another one, we talked about this one. Let's see, what's another one that is only on here? Oh, right here. There's the Repulse Rune, a good combo that a lot of people use. especially when it's like when their ult is not hitting only a single target person. Like if their ult is a single target person, then their ult does a ton of damage, and I don't think it's worth using this. But when you combo these two together, it's really good, because what this does is it increases basic attack damage by a 175% extra damage when casting a basic attack. But it will not restore energy when casting basic attacks. So you're gonna ult way less. But when you stack this thing with like Berserker Rune, for instance, increases basic attack by 50% and reduces the current HP by 10% for each basic attack. That goes up to 65%. So 65%, and then you have this one that's doing 175. That's a lot of damage going on your auto. So this is an amazing rune to put like on your rangers, especially rangers that let's say like live like what's her name, right here, her, forgot her name, but I don't like using it like on my Diana, because I feel like my Diana does a lot of damage with her ult. I don't like putting it on Renee, because I feel like Renee does a lot of damage with her ult. Shoot, you could even try putting it like on Sato or Sota. He'd probably do a ton of damage with that combo. So you can experiment with that. But that is a good combo that pumps out a lot of DPS in the autos. So these two runes scale really well together. And even like if you just got this one, it'll give your rangers a big damage boost. Again, they're sacrificing some HP each time they attack, but if you have like a healer or just someone giving shields, that 10% health that they're going to lose on each auto is not going to matter, because they're either going to get the health back or the shield's just going to cover for it, and then you're just going to be doing more damage each auto. So that's good. The exhaust rune we already talked about. I think we talked about all the runes now. So yeah, we could go over like what my runes are. Like right here, he does more damage the lower he gets. So if he has more damage, he can get lower. And then he's pretty squishy, so I gave him like a shield. Her, I usually have Dementing on her, but I just switched it out for the Abyss, because Abyss, you can't use the Dementing. So you want to get rid of this rune when you're doing Abyss. You want to get rid of that of this rune when you're doing Abyss, if you're using this rune. Which one? Where's it at? Right here. Harvest rune. You want to get rid of this if you're doing Abyss, because it doesn't do anything to you. So yeah, like she does pretty good damage on her ult. So then once you kill someone, she'll be doing more damage. And then you got your Ranger Rune, because I run a lot of Rangers. Again, Ranger Rune and Energy Rune. You just attack, and because she gets attack passive, she has an attack passive that she just keeps scaling attack, plus this scales attack and damage. Then you got my healer. She gets energy. She heals more. Diana, attack, and then attack. Yeah. Well, that's all you really want on your rangers, attack and attack. I got Sato, attack, and then armor break, just in case they have like a tank or something in the back. But it's just really easy runes to upgrade, and low cost and high efficiency, low cost. So just do those on there. My tank, again, this guy scales off of HP. My rolls on this guy were terrible, but HP, and then the shield. Him, I normally have, just because it's real easy to put on him. I try to get HP on him because his shield scales off at HP, and then just for CC, just taking off the buffs. My Terrans I don't ever use, but I just threw in this rune just to give him a little bit more attack, My Leon HP, and then since he doesn't really have any moves that scale off of HP, he restores HP off of attack, and then right here he does restore HP by 20% of his max HP, and then he's invincible. But it's like, again, so the HP, and then I just put this on him just because it's not upgraded, and it gives a pretty good buff. But you just want to work with what you got, and you want to save these and these. Just save all the energy runes because you're going to use all of them, and then try to get good rolls on them. Yeah, I basically use like the same runes on everyone except for Bella. I got this, and then when I get a good Ember Rune, I'll probably put the Ember Rune on her instead of the energy gathering. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with it. I'm pretty much like on her, I put more HP. Pretty much showed you which runes are strong, which runes you want to stay away. You want to save all your defending runes, your berserk runes, at least one repulse rune, asylum runes. You want to save all the descent runes, and then maybe keep a copy of one of each, and then disenchant all of these. But yeah, it's been good, and hope you liked the video. Hope it was information that you could use, and you have a good one. Later.